Hey guys, my name is Maddie or Books with Maddie, and today I'm going to be doing a very long overdue book haul. So the setting has changed a little bit, as in there's now a dresser here. This dresser used to be on the wall adjacent to this wall, but I got a new bookshelf, which is very fun, and maybe I'll show that. I have to reorganize my bookshelves anyway, so maybe I will do a video about reorganizing my bookshelves and include where that one is now. It is not connected to these two because there's a vent directly next to this bookshelf, and so I had to put this dresser over it because there was a larger space in between. Does that make sense? I don't know. But basically, I'm going to be doing a book haul today. I haven't done a book haul in like 2 or 3 months. I don't remember how long, but I have collected some more books, especially because of school beginning. I had to get a lot of books for school. So we'll talk about those books. We'll talk about some other books that I got. But I did want to address something very quickly about consumerism. There's been a lot of talk, especially on Twitter recently, about consumerism, about buying books from Amazon and other large-scale retailers like that, and how that affects different aspects of publishing and the economy, and also the environment and morals. There's a lot of nuances to this topic, and I'm not going to cover them all. I'm thinking of doing a short video on consumerism and how I try my best to avoid buying from big corporations like Amazon, as well as why we should be concerned about consumerism. I'm planning on making a video about that. I was planning on discussing about this, but I thought it might be a larger conversation that I might want to do, so instead I might post that on like a Wednesday-ish video. But okay, I have like 40 books to go over, so I'm going to do that. I will also tell you how I got the book. I think very few of them are actually from Amazon, so I'm going to talk about other avenues that I take to getting other books. Okay, I feel like I'm using my hands a lot today. I'm not sure what that's about, but it's the energy we are bringing. So without further ado, let's just get into the books that I got. I will tell you where I got each of the books, but let's just go. So a while ago, I went to my local thrift store, which has like a pretty substantial book section. It's pretty hit or miss there, but I did have some pretty good finds, so I'm gonna go over those ones first. So the first one that I found at the bookstore was Permanent Record by Mary H.K. Choi. This is a book that I don't know anything about. I believe it's Mary H.K. Choi's most recent book. I do not know anything about this, but I've heard excellent things about it. I read Emergency Contact by Mary H.K. Choi, and I reasonably enjoyed that. It was a little bit like cliche, I felt, and kind of just, you know, your average book, so I'm hoping this one will be a little bit better and a little bit more up my alley. I'm pretty sure it's like, I don't know, like contemporary, possibly romance, I'm not sure. I'm assuming there's two people like nearly smushing faces on the cover, so like I'm assuming there might be some romance. I feel like that's a fair assumption. Okay, another one I got in that trip was Scarlet, the second book in the Lunar Chronicles. I've yet to read Cinder. I am reading it this month, but I found Scarlet there and I was like, why not get it? Like, yeah, that's a great deal. It was like $2. Lunar Chronicles basically is like reimaginings of your classic fairy tales. I believe this one is Little Red Riding Hood reimagining, kind of futuristic take, I think. So, yeah. Next, I got The Woman in Cabin 10 by Ruth Ware. This is a mystery thriller, I believe. I don't remember exactly what it's about. There is no synopsis on this book. I've searched everywhere. I cannot find a synopsis. There's just like blurbs. There's no synopsis. And so I was like a little bit angry about that because I couldn't tell what this was about when I was in the store. I could have looked it up. I don't think I did. So I can't tell you what it's about. I'm sorry. Okay, next I got The Lace Reader by Brenonia Berry. And this I got, like, I was intrigued by the title because that's just like a cool title. I got this also at the same thrift store. And basically it's like magical realism, I believe, and this woman can like read patterns in lace, and I believe it takes place in like Salem, so I feel like there's like witch vibes, and I'm just kind of like, yeah, down for that. It just sounded really interesting. It was like $2, so I got it. So yeah. Then I got this book called The Astronaut's Wives Club, and I love this cover. It's so like, it's just retro and cool, and like the spine is like this really cool pink color. This is about the wives of astronauts. I don't know which astronauts. Mercury 7 astronauts. I don't know what that means. Apparently they had tea with Jackie Kennedy. So that time period when JFK was president. But this is like nonfiction, so I feel like it'll be interesting. It reminded me of like Hidden Figures, like that book, but a different different group of people, definitely. I wonder if it'll give some more information about that time period and about the way we got to space. I don't know. I'm excited though. Okay, then the last two books I got from this thrift store were The Thing Around Your Neck by Chimamanda Ngozi Adichie. I've read the book of hers, the Dear Ijeawela book, or Feminist Manifesto and 15 Suggestions, but I found this and I was like, yes, like I wanted to read more of her work. I believe this is a collection of short stories, perhaps. That's where it was that's where I sorted it on my shelf. So I'm assuming I knew something at one point about what this book was, but I'm very excited to get to this very soon, hopefully. And then this is actually from a different trip to the same store, but I also got Beloved by Toni Morrison. I read The Bluest Eye last semester for my women in literature class and I loved it. I've heard that Beloved is even better, so I picked this up because I'm very intrigued and interested in reading more of Toni Morrison's work. Okay, I have two books from like loan categories, like there's no other books in these categories, so I thought I'd just group them together. The first one is Daring Greatly by Brene Brown. This I got as a gift kind of thing. I found that my dad accidentally brought 2 copies of this, and so he's like, you can have one if you want. I've heard of Brene Brown before, and she's like a psychologist, I believe. She's a PhD, maybe in psychology, I'm not really sure, but basically it's about how the courage to be vulnerable transforms the way we live, love, parent, and lead. I'm not a parent. I didn't know this was necessarily about parenting, but like maybe it's not all about parenting. Probably not. We'll see. I'm gonna read it anyway. But I'll be prepared for being a parent one day. And the other one is the only book that I actually got from Amazon, which is Blood and Honey by Shelby Mahern. Obviously this is like a very new release, so I couldn't have got it at a thrift store or like Thrift Books or anything like that. So I got it on Amazon. Next, I'm going to go over the books that I got from Thrift Books. If you're not aware, Thrift Books is a website which basically has a huge selection of used books and new books, but they're usually more expensive than even Amazon. I don't know where exactly their new book collection comes from, but they're always very expensive. You can find unique editions of books, and thrift store, honestly, hit me up, bro. I will sponsor you. No, wait. You should sponsor. I don't know how sponsorships work, but whatever way it is, like, I buy, like, honestly, I swear by Thrift Books. Thrift Books is my favorite. I just browse on there for fun sometimes, and I always end up buying books. If you order, I don't know how this works internationally, but I know in the US at least, if you order any number of books over $10, you get free shipping. And usually books are around like $4 or $5, so that means you can get like 3 books, free shipping, like $15. It's great time. It's such a good time, and they have such a huge selection. It's always being updated constantly. Highly recommend Thrift Books, and I will leave a link if I mention any specific websites. I will leave a link in the description below to those websites, but in my video about consumerism I will go more in depth about the reliability, shipping time, stuff like that of each of these websites. So I'm going to go over the books that I got from Thrift Books now. In my, I believe it was my last haul video, I hauled Clockwork Prince, the first one, whatever the first one is, and I got the second one on Thrift Books. Is this the second one? Wait, this might be the first one. I genuinely don't. Oh, book 1. This is book 1. Hang on. That is my bad. I got both of them on Thrift Books. I don't know which one I got first or second. I feel like I might have bought them out of order now. But this is Cassandra Clare and Fernando Joyce's series. Very terrified to read them. Kind of swore off Cassandra Clare. Everybody told me I would like these because it's historical fiction. So I'm taking a chance. I'm going to wait till I get all 3, and then I'm going to make a vlog of reading all 3. But Clockwork, third one, isn't on Thrift Books yet, and I'm waiting. Okay, as far as school books go, I got a couple books for school. They have textbooks on Thrift Books. I can't remember if I ever actually purchased a textbook from there, but I have a friend who has. But I had to get a lot of like novel kind of books for school because I'm an English major. So the first one that I had to get was The Brief and Wondrous Life of Oscar Wow. Wow, I'm sorry, I don't know how to pronounce the last name, but look at like how good of condition this is in, like pretty much pristine condition. I'm pretty sure I got it for like $4. And the other one is Bastard of Carolina by Dorothy Allison, which I'm reading for my gender and sexuality and literature class. There are 4 more that I got. The first 2 are The Blind Side by Michael Lewis. This follows the football player. By the way, I don't know the synopsis of the 2 from school. I just had to get them, so I didn't bother really looking at the synopsis, so I'm not really sure what those are about yet. But this is about the football player Michael Orr, who kind of had like a really rough childhood, grew up in poverty and without very steady home or anything like that, and it follows his story of how he becomes a football star. This we are reading, me and Morgan, for the Spellbound Book Club. I will leave the links for all the information about the Spellbound Book Club down below. You should check us out. This is what we are currently buddy reading, and we are going to announce the next read very, very soon. Next, I got The Vanishing Throne by Elizabeth May, which is the second book in the Falconer trilogy. The first book, called The Falconer, I read it in August and like reasonably enjoyed it, 3 stars, but I'm very interested in continuing the series. I really love the heft of this book and the shape. Like, it's a little bit more square than usual, and I really enjoy that for some reason. And I might have already hauled these two, I can't remember, but I'm hauling them again. I got Always and Forever, Lara Jean by Jenny Han. I have yet to read the second book, but I did read the first one, and so I figured I'd get the whole trilogy because I do plan on reading them. I had caffeine today for the first time in a really long time, and honestly, whoa, it's... I also got Daughter of Smoke and Bone by Laini Taylor on Thrift Books. I hate this cover so much. I really, like, from afar it's like not that bad, but if you look up close, what the heck is that eyeball? Ugh, I can't. It scares me. Oh my gosh, that's so scary. Okay, I can't look at it. Okay. It's so stupid. Okay, those are all the books that I got from Thrift Books, I believe. My skin feels like it's literally vibrating from the caffeine. I'm not okay. I'm gonna quickly go over the rest of the books that I got for school. I got them from various websites like Abe Books, Second Sale, I don't know. I'll link the ones that I got them from. I don't remember exactly which one I got from which, so I'm just going to group them all together and go over them really quickly. I don't know the synopsis of all of them, so I might just say the title and hold them up, and then, yeah, that'll be it. So the first ones that I can give you the most information about are the ones that I'm currently reading. So the first one is The Guild of Stories by Jewel Gomez. This is for my gender and sexuality and literature book class. Oh my gosh. It follows a girl named Gilda. She is a slave. She escapes from slavery in 1850 and is brought into this house that is run by a woman, basically lesbian vampires. And then they turn her into a vampire, and so it follows her throughout like this entire history. So right now I'm on 1921, or wait. Okay, right now I'm on 1955. So each chapter jumps about like 50-ish years, sometimes less, sometimes a little bit more, and it follows her journey through all these time periods and trying to find a partner to kind of also turn into a vampire. And it's pretty wild, to be honest. Not something that I would expect to read for a college course, but it's very interesting. It talks a lot about race and sexuality and things like that. So yeah. Next, this is basically just a poetry book about poetry. I don't know if there's actual poems in here, but it's just about poetry. It's incredibly boring. It's called In the Palm of Your Hand by Steve Coet. I had to get it for my creative writing class. I really don't like poetry, and I like reading about poetry even less because it's not even poetry. Like, you're getting further removed from actual words, and that's not for me. Then the next one that I'm reading is Sister Outsider. These are essays and speeches by Audre Lorde, and we're just reading 4 for class, but I do eventually plan on reading all of them. But yeah, she was like an activist in like the 1970s-ish, and so yeah, these are some speeches from her. Like I said, the rest of these books I don't know much about, so I'm just gonna kind of say the titles and say what class they're for. Oleana by Mamet. This is a play. This is for my gender and sexuality and literature class. The next one is called Angels in America by Tony Kushner, which I believe was developed into some kind of play and or movie and or musical. I'm not sure. This is also for my gender and sexuality and literature class. The next one is Eloquent Rage by Brittany Cooper. A black feminist discovers her superpower. This is for my feminist theory class, which is like a sociology course. I believe this is like a memoir? Maybe, not sure. Next. This is Fun Home, a family tragic comic, I don't know that word, by Alison Bechdel. Yes, the woman who developed the Bechdel test. Also, this is a comic, so I don't really like comics, but it'll be interesting. I believe this is also for my gender and sexuality and literature course. Next, Sensuous Knowledge by Minna Salami. A black feminist approach for everyone, and this is for my feminist theory class. The Practice of Poetry by Robin Ben and Chase Twitchell, which is another book about poetry for my creative writing class. Giovanni's Room by James Baldwin for my gender and sexuality and literature class. And then this is not a book that I own, but a rental textbook called The Practice of Creative Writing. So yeah, those are the books that I got for school. The next section is going to be books that I got the most recently, and these are from a kind of book haul run that I did the other day with Morgan, and we went to a second-hand store, a used bookstore, but like specifically for books. A bookstore. A used bookstore. And then we also went to I don't want to say the name of it because it'll like give away where I live, but it is basically an Overstock store, which means that the books are new, I think, but they're like Overstock, so they're like $2, $3. When bigger corporations, maybe Target or Walmart, like order too many copies of the books, then they send it to like an Overstock store like this one. I believe that's how it works, and then they are like cheaper. I'm using so much of my hands today, I'm not even Italian. So I'm gonna go over those really quickly, and then that'll be it. Okay, I'm gonna go over the ones that I got at the used bookstore first. I believe I only got 5, but they were a little bit overpriced, but like it was worth it because I was like supporting local businesses. I was like, cool. These were all in very good condition, which is probably why they were a little bit more expensive. And by more expensive, I mean like $7. So like even then, not that bad. The first book that I got was Dark Places by Gillian Flynn. This is the last Gillian Flynn book that I haven't read. So once I finish this book, I will then make a video ranking all of Gillian Flynn's books, and it'll be a really good time. Next, I got the most beautiful book I've ever seen in my entire life, called Daphne, and it is a retelling, a modern day retelling of the myth of Daphne and Apollo, which I'm actually not familiar with. I might have to do some research into that, but it basically is about this girl named Daphne who, I believe when she's in like high school, she finds out that she has this kind of illness that causes her to, every time she feels a really intense emotion, she becomes paralyzed or passes out, or both, I'm not really sure. And so she kind of has her like very, very structured, and like, you know, this like everything has to be kind of neutral in her life. But then she meets somebody and she's like, do I risk it? Do I do it? Do I risk love and intense emotions? I don't know if she decides to or not, but that's the decision that she has to make. And so it's nice and quick and short, and I don't know exactly, I believe it would just fall into like contemporary, but it's literally the prettiest book I've ever seen. Next, The Wife Between Us by Greer Hendricks and Sarah Pekkanen. I've heard Books and Lala talk about this book before. I don't remember if she liked it or not, but I've heard lots of people talk about it, honestly. It's a thriller, domestic thriller, psychological thriller, unforgettable twists. There's 2 wives. I really don't know what it's about. There's a love triangle about, and I hate love triangles, but like this isn't the same, you know what I mean? I think like there's like a married couple, they get divorced, and then he marries a new person, and then like you assume that she's just jealous, but you should assume nothing. That's what it said. Read between the lies. That's a good one. I like that. Next, I got The Nanny by Jilly McMillan. I've never heard of this author or this book, but it was $1, and so I bought it. And I don't know what it's about. I don't know where the nanny comes into play, but I think this person goes back to their childhood home and finds a human skull. I don't know what's going on with the nanny. I don't know, but she makes some shocking discoveries. I feel like I'm crashing now. I feel like I'm crashing now because of the caffeine. The light is changing a lot because I forgot to turn that lamp off, so that lamp is on and there's light from outside. It's confusing. Okay, lastly, I got this chonker, Stephen King 11/22/63, the only Stephen King book I've ever been interested in reading. It basically is about a history teacher, I believe, who goes back in time to try to stop JFK from being assassinated. Shocking. It's basically historical fiction, and so like any author, I find what the closest one to historical fiction is, and then I read that one. I don't have an interest in reading Stephen King. I think he's kind of a gross dude. He writes about women really grossly, so I don't really have an interest in reading much of his. Also, I'm not really into horror thriller genre, so. But this one sounds very, very interesting, right up my alley. Those are the 5 books that I got from the used bookstore, and now, okay, yeah, that's, yes. Okay, the last stack of books is from the Overstock bookstore that I was talking about. So each of these were probably around like $2 or $3. Yeah, good stuff. Okay, first book was, honestly, this was a cover buy. Yellow is my favorite color. I couldn't resist it. It's called The Boy Is Back by Meg Cabot. I don't know what it's about. I think it's some kind of like chick lit, kind of rom-com-esque book. Oh, dude, the lighting's getting so bad. I gotta hurry up. Oh, I think I fixed it. Okay, I think the lighting might have changed, but it's for the benefit of everybody. I don't know exactly what that book is about. Maybe it's about a boy coming back. I don't know. We'll find out together. Okay, next I got Fates and Furies by Lauren Groff. I believe it's like a contemporary about like troubles in marriage and stuff like that. I don't really know, but I saw this book. I believe this book was recommended to me by somebody, and I can't remember why, but I saw it at the used bookstore, and I was like, oh, I should get it, but it was like kind of expensive. And then I saw it at the next store we went to, which was the Overstock store. My friend Morgan was like, you should get it because you saw it twice. And I was like, that's good logic. So now I have this, and I'm excited to read it. I can't remember why it was recommended to me, but I believe it was. Okay, next I got, this is the coolest cover I own. I think this is my favorite cover. The spine. Look at that. Good thing I don't sort by Rainbow anymore, because that would be just not, that would just be the worst. Okay, this is called The Female Persuasion by Meg Wolitzer, and I don't know too much about this, but I'm pretty sure it's about a girl, a freshman in college. She is in like this perfect relationship, like super content with it and everything, and then she meets this like 60-year-old woman who shows her that there's more to life than just having like a perfect relationship, and that you like finding your own power and like your womanhood and stuff like that. And I'm like, yes, I agree. I would like to read this. Okay, next. This book is called Burning Brightly by Alexa Dawn. Guess what, guys? My friend was talking, she was looking for a comic book. Employee was helping her, so I was just like looking around. I was ready to go, and then I saw this, and I was like, oh, that's a pretty cute cover. So I like opened it. Guess what I saw? It is a Jane Eyre retelling in space. What more could you ask for? This is my ideal book. I'm very excited. If you don't know, Jane Eyre is like one of my favorite books of all time. Like, I love Jane Eyre. It is so like yes, that is what, like, yes. Okay, and I found this book, and it's a retelling of Jane Eyre in space. That's all I needed to know, and I bought it. Next, I got this book called The Roanoke Girls by Amy Engel, and this has been on my TBR for quite a while, so I was pretty excited to see it. It is about this family of girls, and like all of the girls either like die or leave or something like that, and then like one of them comes back to Kansas, where they're from, and they have to solve a mystery. I believe it's some kind of like thriller-esque mystery. I buy so many mystery thrillers as if I'm going to read them, as if I enjoy that genre, and it's probably the genre I read the least of. Next, now this one I'm the most excited. Maybe Burning Brightly is the one I'm most excited about. I don't know. This one is like, I'm reading it this month. It is called Voices, and this has been on my TBR since it came out. It's compared a lot to Bloodwater Paint by Joe McCullough, which, if you don't know, one of my favorite books of all time, and was my second favorite book of last year. It is a collection of poetry about the final hours of Joan of Arc. It is poetry about the final hours of Joan of Arc. Yes! I had to read a poetry book this month for my deck of TBR, and I'm switching out Mad Woman by Cat Savage with this so that I can read this immediately. Okay, next I got Turn of the Key by Ruth Ware. I've heard incredible things about this book. Again, why am I buying thrillers / mystery when I really don't like that genre? I don't know, beats me. I don't remember what this is about. I believe it's about a nanny. That's all I remember. Is this the one where the house comes to life? There's like a bunch of technology and they all start attacking her or something. I don't know. I feel like that's what it's about. And then lastly, I got Wicked Fox by Kat Cho. This was like a hype back in like the day. Like, I don't know, maybe a year ago. Everybody was talking about this book. I believe there's a girl who turns into a fox, which is wild. I wish I could do that. I don't know anything else about it except I believe it takes place in like Korea. Oh, maybe it's just inspired by Korea. I believe, okay, it seems like a Korean drama. Okay. It seems like there's a lot of Korean inspiration, which is very interesting. So I'm very excited about all those books. I believe that's all I have to say for now. Thank you for watching. I hope this wasn't too long. I tried to go as fast as possible. I will link some resources in the description below for used book websites and stuff like that. but I will also make a video that will come very soon that talks about consumerism and ways that we can kind of support smaller businesses and also save money, things like that. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Make sure to like and subscribe if you enjoyed. I upload every Saturday and sometimes Wednesday. Hope you have a great day. I hope you have a great week, and I hope you have a great life, and I will see you very, very soon. Bye bye.